Destiny this.
Hi guys, this is a vlog and I'm not very sure how vlogs work, but anyway, topic of today's vlog is kind of like my brain is fucked and I ate shark meat. So yeah, for those of you who are curious about how these came about, it's story of my life. It's kind of happening every day and there are things that I thought, maybe other people might find enjoyable to listen to, because for me it's kind of like a daily occurrence, a regular thing, but not for many people. Today's encounter with shark meat is literally just part of my routine. Like, I go to work, I work as a piano teacher, and then there was lunch break, and I was getting lunch, and I was like going to the same fucking store with the same fucking person. And then I said, okay, I'm tired of eating, like, vegetables all the time, because that's my regular stuff. And then I was like, maybe I should try something new. And then I saw this thing that looks completely new. It's like a new dish on the menu or something. And I was like, hey, what's that? And then because it's in Chinese and my Chinese is insufficient, so the guy was like, oh, it's 鲨鱼. And I was like, wait, what? And then he's like, 鲨鱼. And then he looked at me for a moment and remembered that I actually don't speak Chinese really well because I'm a regular there, so they know me. And then they translated it politely and they told me it was baby shark. So initially I thought I heard wrong. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, that works. Like, pack that up for me. I'll just buy this. Then when I was paying and he was like, baby shark. And I was like, hold on a second, baby shark. Is it the kind of shark that I'm talking about? Like the kind of shark that I know? So I asked. I was like, is it a real shark? And then he laughed at me and he's like, is that a fake shark? He spoke in Chinese. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, it's a real shark then. I'm gonna eat shark meat for lunch. Like, who does that? And I was like, okay. Usually, I have bad appetite. Like, I have gastric, and also I find it hard to stomach like red meat. So I kind of stick to white meat, like chicken and fish are fine. So I was like, will I be okay with shark? It's like a huge fish, and it's still technically a fish, so I should be fine. So yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. So I paid, and then I came back to like the school, and then I ate there, and I was like, okay, first time for everything. Like, this is shark meat. I'm gonna have a try. So it technically does taste like fish. It is just like premium fish, kind of like, maybe the shark is bigger, so they have like more muscles or something. But it kind of tasted like a hybrid of chicken and fish. I don't. It's like kind of like the best combination of both, I guess I could have asked for today, and it's supposed to be an ordinary day. So yeah, those of you who just wanted to know how the fuck does shark meat taste like, there you have it. It's a weird combination of chicken and somewhat fish. Yeah, but they kind of cooked it with pickled vegetables, so I don't really know. It's kind of everywhere at the same time, nowhere as well. But yeah, that's shark meat in a nutshell, like how it tasted and why I was doing that in the first place. Good question, beats me. I don't know, man. That was fun. And for the reason on why my mind is so fucked lately is because, well, some of you know that I don't make a lot of money from writing alone, which is fine. But I have to find my like other sources of income, which I do using skills to pay the bills. So I'm an English tutor or freelance teacher. At the same time, I also teach piano, so it's kind of like a in between. And then lately, there are like a ton of freelance jobs that were like posted for some reason, and I applied for everything. Just like how you go for, job hunts, you just write a resume and then you write a generic cover letter and select all the companies that fit within your job scope and criteria that you're looking for, and then hit send to every single one, like mass send. And then you wait for calls. So that was basically what I did for my freelance jobs. And I gotta say, I was not expecting like 80% confirmation from the ones that I applied, so I'm kind of overwhelmed and my schedule is kind of packed. So I'm making a full-time wage right now doing like part-time jobs, freelance jobs to be more precise, but I don't exactly know how that works. And yeah, I'm dying because I have like so many kinds of jobs right now. And on top of that, a few days ago, like the last few weeks have been busy and crazy in its own because of my freelance hiking career. Like, it's just picking up like crazy. And my mom's like, hey, I want to buy a house. I'm like, chill, okay, what kind of house are you looking for? And she's like, I want to buy a house here. And I was like, okay, because she's Malaysian and I'm Singaporean, and I'm like, you're gonna buy a house here in Singapore. So like my parents divorced like a few years ago, like a couple of years ago, and back then I've been telling her, I was like, get yourself a house. Why do you have to always rent? Like you have the money to pay for a house endowment and everything. Like you could have done that like 5 years ago. Why now? I asked her. I was like, why now when I'm like, superly stressed? And then yeah. So initially I told her, get yourself a house. You can afford it, and like you can save on rental and you can bring yield and you can rent it out and stuff like that. Like it makes sense at that point of time. And then now I was bringing that up. I told her, I was like, if I were to have money and I was to invest it, I'm definitely gonna invest it in property, because stocks and whatever fixed deposit are not guaranteed, but rental from property yield, you still kind of can get something out of it. Like Singapore is such a tiny island and we are always short of like space for living, and this is like COVID period. Like come on, this is probably the best time you should be shopping for a property. And yeah, so my mom was like, oh, makes sense. Like I don't know what went in her head like a few days before, but she's like, oh, it finally made sense to me. I want to get a house like right now. I was like, Mom, are you sure? Like right now? Now is in right now? Are you kidding me? Yeah, so I'm kind of like overwhelmed. Now I spent the last few days. Insomnia is my best friend right now, so I can't sleep, and that's why I'm making this vlog to kind of vent out everything and just share with people. Like, what the hell is this author right now? Well, your author is kind of busy in real life, and I can't I'm currently trying to stock up for a mass release because I messed up my privateer for some reason. Like I didn't know how to set it. Like I kind of knew how to set it from vague memory, but the UI on the back end of Inkstone is just so terrible sometimes. You just know it's Chinese stuff. When you see those kind of links and broken stuff, like why do you need to save it and submit it like differently? Like shouldn't you have a confirmation button or something? Like no, that there is no like confirmation whatever not. So I fucked up preview for last month. I thought it would be launched for like 7 chapters and I only had to do 8, but now no, because I fucked it up. I now have to release like tier 3 and 4 chapters all at the same time. Monarch of Solitude, yes, I'm talking about you guys who are reading it, and you guys who have found my YouTube channel from reading that. So yes, I'm doing this for you, and it's 15 chapters, which honestly my brain just cannot cope. I'm dying. I'm like halfway done, but I'm just dying. Like season 2 should have been so over when it hit like 200 chapters, but no, it's far from over. I have let me count, 2 3 4 more arcs before I'm done, and that's just way too many for myself, to be honest. I really want to get over this book like in 300 chapters, but at this rate that I'm going, I think it's closer to 600 if I were to be honest to myself. But I'm optimistic tonight because I'm not sane, so I'm gonna say 400 and see how it goes. Yeah, that's all for my vlog. As soon as it started, it ended. So yeah, that's just me rambling for almost 8 minutes. I hope you enjoyed. It means nothing at all, but if you kind of do enjoy this kind of thing, let me know, so I'll do it sometime again if I find something interesting. Goodbye.